Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me, Jenny?
Hi.
Annie?
It's me, Anne.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Jessica?
I'm well. Just checking this out. They changed it since yesterday. Have you noticed that, Jessica?
I have not yet because I only did.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the host side, but it looks different. I opened it and was like, panic.
Yeah, they sent an email at like 6:45 this morning that they had changed it, and I was like, oh, great.
Awesome. I love when they do that.
Zoom 5.0 is what it's called. Hilarious.
Jessica.
Hi there.
Yes, this is Ed Dills. I'm driving way out east of town, and I don't know how much signal I'm going to have.
Okay. No problem.
So I'll listen and do as much as I can, but if I get cut off, it's because I'm out by rush.
Okay.
Here's Doggy. Hi.
Hey, Jessica, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, I'm still testing my connection. Am I choppy?
A little bit, not too bad.
Okay. I wonder if I should call in on the audio just in case.
You can feel free to keep testing it and I can let you know how it sounds. Right now it's not too bad.
Okay.
Get us set up here.
Is anyone else struggling with having nothing but mess behind them and being paranoid about it?
Apparently, it's a function where
Oh.
you can through your background.
You see what I mean? My interim office is my craft room, and
We're working on finishing our office, and so I have like a bunker looking room. Undone drywall.
I probably have dirty dishes behind me.
That's why I'm outside.
see, Audrey and Jim both look fine. You guys don't have any,
Oh, they look good.
Strategic placement.
So Jessica, do you want me to run like the beginning of this like I've been doing the other committees? Is that helpful? I walk through housekeeping, that kind of thing. You want me to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay, on it.
And I'm going to hide my video again because, yeah, my shame is big.
Ah.
I think I've repainted accent walls in my house in the last month and a half.
In the midst of all of this, my kid has decided that they want to change which bedroom is theirs. So we're trying to switch the office to the bedroom, and that's requiring all sorts of painting.
Boy. Make sure we're recording. Yep. Hello, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, just getting everything set up. This is my husband's office, so Everything is weird.
No, who's at my door?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Thank goodness
Are
for
we conducting the meeting?
We have not started yet.
Can you
Not
guys
started
hear
yet.
me?
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sam.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. Okay.
We have a line 684-2092. Who's that?
That's me, Orrin Childers.
Hello, Oren.
Hi.
Jeez. Okay. Roy. Shelley.
Do we want to wait just another moment or two to give spare people time to trickle in and plan to get started at 3:03? Does that sound good, Aubrey?
Yes.
I'll give you guys fair warning. You might hear the turkeys in the background. We have a group of turkeys that hangs out around our house, and they get vocal this time of year in particular.
Fun. We have a lot of deer running.
Yeah, they're quieter.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still waiting for Catherine?
Looks like we've got a pretty good group.
Want me to go ahead with the house? Going? Okay, I will do so. Mute everybody. So when there is an echo, it's because multiple people are turned on. So we go through and we put everybody onto mute. And we ask that you do so after speaking. Just make sure you hit that mute. Hover over your box and it says mute and a little blue button on the right corner of your screen. So if you're not talking, go ahead and hit that for us. And then we kind of keep an eye throughout the meeting to make sure nobody's struggling. If you see you talking, but you're on mute, we'll try to help you out and unmute you. I didn't receive any comments for public comment via email. Maybe Jessica or Aubrey did, but I did not. We've been asking that everyone sends them that way for now while the meetings are online. If you are presenting, please remember to describe items very clearly. Not all users or meeting attendees are visual. Some are just on the phone line. So please make sure to be very descriptive there. Things that are presented can be emailed out later on as well, just in case you need those. We ask that when you make a motion, if you would state your name beforehand, just in case. Sometimes it gets kind of crazy and that helps us. If you can either use the raise the hand feature or thumbs up, or just kind of show that you want to talk as opposed to everyone turning on their mics at once, that's usually helpful. Down at the bottom, there's a reactions feature. And if you hover over that, you'll see you can do a wave or you can do a thumbs up. Those are useful little tools. You can use those if you want to. There's also the chat feature. So it looks like a speech bubble. If you go there, as you can see, Jessica left a note. If you need assistance, you can let us know there and we monitor that throughout the meeting. It's a good way to get messages across, and you can send a message to one person or to everyone. And that's down at the bottom of the chat. So that's a good tool as well. That's about it. Unless you guys have any questions, feel free to send us a message, an email, and we, like I said, we keep an eye on that throughout the meeting and do our best to help monitor as things go along. Other than that, I turn it over to your chair, Aubrey.
Thank you, Jessica. That's helpful. Quick question. So, as people are raising their hand to ask questions and that kind of thing, I'll just leave it to you to designate who's next and to unmute them, that kind of thing. Is that what you want to do?
No problem. And again, there's three of us PACG staff in here kind of watching, and so we help monitor things, and if we need to jump in, we will, but usually it goes pretty smooth. So Yeah,
Okay.
holler if you need me.
Let me know if I get choppy and I'll do the call-in option, okay?
Sounds good. You sound great right now.
Okay, great. Nice to see everybody and hear some of it. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's crazy times. So we're going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the PPACG CAC for April 29th. Consent items. Did anybody have any comments about the minutes or the financial report? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to accept them.
Patty
This is
Bencher.
Jim Moore.
I'm not
Jim
sure
Moore.
how-
Somebody else get it? I move that we accept the consent agenda presented.
Is there a second?
Roy Rosenthal, second.
Patty
Great.
Bencher. Just my name is Miss.
Oh, okay. We can, Jessica will take note of
We'll get that fixed.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, with that quick fix, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hands up. Any opposed with a hand up or a call out? Great, looks like that passes. Okay. So Jessica said she did not receive any public comments, nor did I, so we will move on to our action items. Catherine?
Hello. Good afternoon. So this is for a action item for our federal fiscal year 2020 and 2021 UPWP amendment. I brought this to you a couple months ago as an information item. This is for our unified work program. Sorry, there's so many acronyms. Just trying to pull that up. There we go. Okay, so this Unified Planning Work Program is a federal regulation or requirement for PPACG to develop, and it talks about a description of all the planning work and the resulting products, and then the budgets that we use for our federal funds. So anytime there's a federal funds, we need to put it in our UPWP and make sure that we outline that for CDOT and for the federal, for feds, to make sure they understand the work we're doing with the money that they're providing us. And so this document gets updated every 2 years, but typically we sometimes do an update or a mid-cycle update. So for this year, we're going to be doing a mid-cycle update or amendment number 1, just to reflect updated contract numbers, since we had some updated numbers from CDOT regarding roll forwards from last year, money we didn't spend last year. Some staff changes that we had some more staff this past year, so we also changed some projects. And then since we finished up our long range plan, we're shifting in focus into other items such as like a safety campaign. And so you'll see those for all those reflected in the attachments for attachment number 2, or excuse me, number 1. And then attachment 2 is just a link to the full document that was approved last year. With that, I won't go into the specifics of the proposed amendments, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on those. But with that, I can take any questions.
Catherine?
Yes.
On the documentation, the charts, the red numbers are new. Is that correct? Is that where the changes are?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. That is the one thing I missed. Yes, so on the left column, it's what's currently in the document, and then the right hand and the red highlight is what the updates are, the proposed.
Thank you.
Catherine, I was pleased to see some updates, some amendments that included some regional safety type stuff and crash data, things like that. Having missed a couple meetings over the last several months, Was that something that was directed by the committees to explore further, or how did that come to be?
I think it's a mixture of a couple of things. So the committees, we bring you the safety targets every year that we have to do now. And there was concern about those numbers going up. And then obviously in the news, you hear that the numbers are going up as well. In addition to that, CDOT and state troopers and our local police, I feel like there's a lot of different activities going on across the state and in our locality in the region. And so Jason O'Brien, you might have heard from him. He's one of our planners. He has taken the lead to try and figure out all the things that are going on and combine them, and then also help start a new effort in our area for education and outreach. And so I think it's a combination of multiple things, and the worry that we're seeing a lot of fatality increases.
I had one more question. On the revenue chart, what are you anticipating? Have you taken into account the changes of the last 60 days in terms of the economy and the potential impact on things like grants and federal monies that are scheduled to flow in under normal circumstances?
We have not changed anything yet. We haven't been told anything by our federal partners that anything will change. We asked them and they haven't heard anything. They don't think anything should change on that end, at least not right now, maybe with future legislation, but with current legislation, they think we're okay. But so it's to be determined if that's going to cause an issue. We also have a local match requirement, which could also, be of concern. But as of right now, we haven't made any adjustments on that. We do always kind of spend under what we say we're going to. So we try to be as efficient with our money as we can be. But that being said, we haven't adjusted it yet.
I can't see everybody, so if you're raising your hand, it's possible I don't see you. I'm going to leave a minute of awkward silence in case anybody wants to speak up with any questions or comments. Okay, hearing none. Does anybody want to make a motion on this one?
I so move.
Can you state your name, please, just for the record? Sorry, who made the motion? Jessica, did you get it?
I did not. If you could state your name and make that motion, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll make the motion. This is Tamara.
In a second.
Bill Bowles, I'll second.
Got it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Great. Any opposed? Good. Okay, that passes. So the next item is nominating committee. Jessica? Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks.
Thank you all very much. Sorry about any delays you have from me. My internet likes to be finicky. So we are preparing to have 1 to 2 openings for the CAC at-large positions. Currently, the nominating committee that was selected and approved on was Tim O'Donnell, Jim Moore. Okay. We will need to select a new committee. With Tim being gone. It is members. So this is where PAC members to volunteer. And then an action.
So just to clarify, Jessica, are we just asking for one additional member, or do we need 3 new members?
We always ask that positions be considered. So it's Aubrey and Jim, do you wish to continue? Or because of your roles or other things, do you wish to ask someone else to serve that?
This is Jim Moore.
Okay, yeah, I would go. Yeah, go, Jim.
First of all, I think we're going to feedback off of somebody's picking up our signal is coming back around. My last meeting is next month. So I don't think I'm in a position to serve this time around. I've gone through a couple of these, and I'm happy to serve if we can get everything done in the next 30 days. But after our meeting in May, I'm done. So I would prefer not to serve on this for this purpose.
Jessica and Aubrey, my last month would be November 30th. So if we're able to do this before then, I'm happy to volunteer to be one of the committee members.
Great, thank you, Tamara. And I would be more than willing to relinquish my position if we can get 2 other folks to be interested as well.
Looks like Miley wanted to talk.
Yes, I am happy to volunteer also.
Thank you, Miley. One more?
I can do it. Shelley Roars.
Thank you, Shelley. So this is an action item. So if there are no other folks that are vying for a seat, I would accept a motion for those 3 folks to be our nominating committee moving forward.
This is Jim Moore. I move that the 3 volunteers be appointed as the nominating committee for the remainder of 2020.
I'll second Terry Hayes.
Great, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. So Jessica, I guess we'll be reaching out to those 3 to schedule a nominating meeting then.
We'll definitely
And
take
now
care
we're
of
ready
that.
to hear
Thank
from
you.
Samantha.
We'll definitely take care of that. Thank you.
Hi, I hope you all can hear me. So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all happy and healthy. We have beautiful weather this week, so I hope you all are going outside and enjoying it. My name is Samantha Bailey, and I'm the environmental planner here for PPACG. Since we're getting close to the ozone season, it starts in June where we start to see peaks of ozone air pollution throughout the region. You'll be seeing a little bit more of me this summer, so I can update you with everything going on in regards to air quality. So next slide, please. Oh, if we don't have my slideshow up, sorry. And just real quick, if you're not speaking, please mute your mic, and that way we don't get feedback. That would be great. I'll wait just 1 second for Jessica to pull up my PowerPoint slides. Cool, thank you. So the next one after that, please, Jessica. Thank you. So I'm going to talk to you with 3 different topics regarding the air quality efforts that are going on at PPACG. It includes a final draft of our 2013 to 2019 air quality report showing data of all 6 criteria pollutants in the Pikes Peak region. I'll also be discussing our participation in the EPA Ozone Advance Program, as well as Air Quality Awareness Week. Since these projects, although related to air quality, are different from each other, I'll pause after each slide, so after each topic for questions, as well as pausing for questions at the end of my presentation. Next slide, please, Jessica. So within your package is the final draft of the 2013-2019 Pikes Peak Region Air Quality Report. In late 2019, our board of directors requested a data report of the air quality in the Pikes Peak region. My predecessor completed a data report in 2013 showing data up to 2012. So this report in front of you includes data of all 6 criteria pollutants from the last 6 years. The data was reviewed and approved by our Air Quality Technical Committee, along with the state, who are the owners of the 4 air monitors in our region. You may have noticed while reviewing the report that our region is well below federal standards for 5 out of the 6 criteria pollutants, the outlier, as you may know, being ozone. This report shows data graphs as well as content on what the pollutant is and how it's caused, its associated health and environmental impacts, and then tips on how to reduce air pollution as well. While developing this report, I noticed in our archives that our previous reports were very content heavy and technical. It was even kind of difficult for me to read. With our partners, including the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, they produce a similar but very highly technical document showing the air quality of the entire state. It includes a couple pages for the Pikes Peak region, but like I said, very technical and content heavy. Because of that, I decided that I wanted to make this report for the general public so they can easily digest the information and understand the content. So in the report, you'll notice a lot of white space, a lot of visually appealing graphics, and content limited to 1 page. The information displayed in the report reads at a high school reading level as well. Once this report is finalized, it'll be made public to our social media and website pages. And then once organizations begin to open again, I plan on providing printouts as well to distribute to our partners. Without going too much into detail, like I mentioned, you have the report in your package. I just wanted to hear from you if you have any feedback or suggestions regarding the report. Like I said, this is a final draft, so I still have the opportunity to make edits and revisions based on your feedback. I'd also love to hear ideas on outreach for this report. So if there's anyone that I may have missed that you feel like should know that this report exists. So I will take a pause and just mute and see if you have any tips or feedback for me regarding this report.
Hello, this is Miley. I wanted to compliment you. I think it is much more user-friendly for the general public, and so really appreciate that effort. One of the things I was thinking of is maybe it should be presented to something. I'm a member of the Colorado Springs Rotary Club, and which is one of the largest clubs here in town, and a presentation to that club would help communicate the work that's being done and what it means to the public. And most of those people are business owners or business people, but this isn't good knowledge for them to have. So maybe we could talk about somebody, if not you, doing a presentation on this topic to the Rotary Club.
That's a great idea, and that's an organization I haven't thought of, so I really appreciate that comment. At the end of the presentation is my contact information. Otherwise, if you contact Jessica B. or Jessica McMullen, they can also connect you with me as well, but I'd love to do that presentation, so thank you. Any other comments or feedback or ideas regarding this report?
I just have a quick comment or clarification. It looks like looking at the graphs for carbon monoxide, all the standards or everything that provides graph for, we're below the standard. So does that mean we're doing well, right?
Yes, so going above standard means that we're out of compliance with the federal regulation.
Okay. So I guess I'm looking at the ozone 2016, 2018. Looks like we were right there with the standard, but then we're dipping down. So I guess, and we don't have any more recent data, but in your opinion, do you feel like we're going in the right direction as far as our air quality goes?
Well, we did receive the American Lung Association. They just had a report come out called State of the Air. And if you'd like, I can send you that link. We are heading in the right direction for the majority of pollutants. In fact, according to that American Lung Association report, we're one of the cleanest cities for particulate matter. We're one of the top 25. I don't know exactly what number we are. I can look again in the report, but I know that we're in the top 25 for cleanest in regards to particulate matter. For ozone, that report was not super friendly to us. So I do feel like we're heading in the right direction by getting this information out there, meaning that you know, having an air quality specialist on board like me, working with the air quality technical committee, because my position was vacant for a few years. So I feel like we're heading in the right direction now that we're kind of getting all this material out there. We have someone on board to monitor the data as well as work with organizations to get the word out. I think what's going to be tough and a challenge when it comes to ozone is that with population growth happening in the city of Colorado Springs, that means more car emissions. And those vehicle emissions are what are a cause of ozone. So it's working with the Air Quality Technical Committee and other organizations like transit organizations, the Chamber of Commerce, to ensure that with this high population growth that we're expected to have, how do we remain in compliance with the forecast of having more vehicle emissions? And that's going to be a challenge. But to answer your question, I think having PPACG, myself, the Air Quality Technical Committee, working with groups like you and you know, the board of directors, I think this is the start of heading in the right direction.
Great, thanks.
Samantha, this is Jim Moore. I'm looking ahead on your slides because I've got another computer up, but I'm interested in the fact that we're seeing a lot of evidence globally that the isolation or safe at home, safer at home kind of thing has sharply reduced atmospheric problems around the world, and in some of the most highly smog or whatever, ozone, any of these particulate things have, you know, dulled the air, have precluded being able to see landmarks, things of that sort. Has any thought been put on the table at this point to raise a question about what if, as we come out of this coronavirus thing, people are reluctant to resume normal working patterns, normal socializing patterns, normal travel patterns. You know, one of the things that there's concern about is, in fact, will public transport take a hit, not just from the revenue, but people who will be reluctant to travel in close proximity with others, and may be wanting to find a way to work from home. So there won't be as many cars on the road and things of that sort. Are you all thinking about that at all as you're looking ahead? I applaud the report as presented. As Miley said, I think it is extremely well laid out. It's a very professional production, and I think you can be very proud of that. But I'm looking kind of around the corner to try to understand what the implications might be and whether we might be looking at improvements in air quality as opposed to just continuation of the trends that we've seen over the last 3 to 5 years.
That's a great question. I'm really fascinated to see what's going to happen after this quarantine as well. You may have seen or heard in the news that large metropolitan areas in Asia to California They have heat models that show, air pollution last year with a really small heat model this year because of people staying at home and not transporting as much. One thing that I'm really interested in doing and what I plan to do once this all kind of settles down, hopefully by summer or fall, is I'd be really interested in taking either a data collection survey or working with business organizations to see if there is going to be an increase in telecommuting. Because if there is going to be an increase in telecommuting, that means a decrease in vehicle emissions in the city. One thing too that I plan on presenting to you maybe in the next few months is doing data comparison charts. So looking at the ozone last year compared to this year during our time in shelter in place. So I don't know what to expect that will happen after quarantine, because there are some balancing things going on. There is a decrease in car emissions because people aren't going to work, but there's a huge increase in delivery emissions. So Amazon trucks and UPS trucks everywhere because people don't want to go outside and go to their local shopping mall or whatever. So I'm interested to see, I'm going to say stay tuned, but I do have some ideas floating around to look at this data that we're going through now. Yeah, very fascinating. If you have the time, just Google air pollution and coronavirus or air pollution and COVID-19, and there's some really interesting data out there too.
Thank you.
Any other suggestions or feedback regarding the air quality report?
I have a question. Are you going to put out a news release or try to get this so that the Gazette and maybe the Tribune and some of the other smaller local community newspapers will know that this is out there?
Yes, I'm working with Jessica McMullen. Like I said, this is a final draft. So once I get the okay from you all and from our executive director and folks, then we'll be bringing this out to the public. So yes, I plan on working with Jessica McMullen to get this out to the news, especially June is the beginning of ozone season here in Colorado Springs. So getting something out there within the next few weeks would be great.
Yeah, nice job on the report. Really good.
Thank you.
Samantha, on the Air Quality Awareness Week, and it looks like the City Council will, sorry, I lost my notes. So Air Quality Awareness Week, May 4th to 8th, how are we handling that? What was the process going to be? And now with everyone staying home, what will it be?
I have a few more slides to go through. Air Quality Awareness Week is my last slide. Can we hold off that question when I talk about it? Okay, cool. Thank you. So are there any feedback, suggestions, or questions on the air quality report? Before I move on?
Yeah, I do have one question. That's there's my coworker. Is there any way to tell if there might be hot spots in the community that, well, where the monitor is, it's reading a certain way, but it's possible that in other places, particulate matter or things like that may be worse? Or is it worth making a statement somewhere in the report that it's possible that certain neighborhoods or parts of our region are more or disparately impacted? I don't know. Do you know what I'm getting at?
I do, and I am really interested in seeing environmental inequalities when it comes to a lot of environmental factors, including air quality. I don't know how to go about that data. I know that El Paso County Public Health has data similar to that, so maybe collaborating with them might be a good effort. I just don't know how to go about that because I don't have that background. And the air monitors that we have, they just collect numerical information. So they take the air in, it measures what pollutants are in there, and then it comes out to a data report that CDPHE owns. So they don't have hotspot models that I'm aware of, but I think that's a great idea, and that's definitely a resource that I think would be beneficial. That would just take some time, and it would be a learning curve for me. But as I mentioned, I believe El Paso County Public Health does similar data collection, so that would be a good collaboration project to work with them. Thanks, Aubrey. Any other suggestions or questions before I move on to the advanced program? Great. I love the engagement. So thanks, guys. All right. So next slide, please, Jessica. Thank you. So I wanted to make you all aware of the EPA's environmental protection, the EPA's Ozone Advanced Program. Within your packet was PPACG's letter of commitment to the program as well. So you can refer to that while I talk about the program a little bit. The Federal Ozone Advanced Program is a voluntary program that asks local government efforts to reduce ozone pollution in areas that are already in compliance with the federal ozone standards. So the requirements of this program is you either have to be a local government or a local government organization, and you have to be in compliance with ozone, which we technically are. Like I said, we're just very close to the federal standard line. So we are in compliance, but getting pretty close. So it just seemed the perfect opportunity for PPACG to be a part of this program. This program is voluntary, so all that's required from us is an air pollution reduction planning document that records our projects and efforts. And we have a lot of flexibility on what to include in that document as well. EPA asks that the document to be updated every 5 years, but I spoke with other council of governments participating in this program throughout the country. And the typical consensus that I saw while working with these other council of governments, they tend to update their report annually. Like I said, it's similar to us where we're already doing ozone reduction efforts. So I feel like the council of governments do this annually because they're doing the same thing that we're doing anyways. I do want to note that the Pikes Peak region is the first in Colorado to participate in this program. So it's interesting because we signed on in January and I'm already receiving phone calls and contacts from other areas of the state of Colorado, like the city of Aspen. They gave me a call to learn more about the program and how we're going about it too. So we really are the leader in the state for being a part of this program, which is awesome. Since we're already conducting air pollution effort plans anyways, we saw only benefits to join. Direct benefits include receiving notifications of participant-specific funding and training opportunities. So that's nice is that because we're a participant in this program, we have the opportunity to take part in federal funding that might be available to advanced program participation, as well as training and technical assistance opportunities throughout the country that we can be a part of as well. Another really great benefit to being a part of this program is having a direct partnership with EPA. So while working with this program, I don't go through CDPHE to talk to them about this. I have someone directly from EPA that I can call and talk to, which I think is great for a partnership anyways, because they're going to be already aware of the ozone reduction efforts that's already happening in our region. They don't have to go through CDPHE or some agency in the state to figure out what we're doing. They're already aware of it. And because of this, we could potentially have more flexibility in state and federal requirements if we do end up going above the ozone standard. They might be more flexible because they're aware of everything that we're doing already. They might be more flexible in their requirements to go back into ozone compliance. The Ozone Advanced Planning document will be developed by my Air Quality Technical Committee, and it will be brought to you for review and approval this fall. The final document is required to EPA by January 2021. So since we committed in January of 2020, they're giving us a year to develop this document. If you have any more questions, I do want to note that I have a recorded webinar. EPA came by, I think, in November of 2019, and they did a virtual presentation to the Air Quality Technical Committee, which goes into more detail about that program. I have that recording, so if you're interested in seeing that, I can easily email that out to you. But as for right now, do you have any questions specific to the EPA Ozone Advanced Program?
This is Donna Wood, and I have a question. Has there been a recent change in any of the regulations regarding the Clean Air Act?
No, thankfully, but there are a lot of drawbacks happening at the federal level, particularly with water and waste that I've been seeing, but none of air that I've been aware of. And I wouldn't be so concerned about federal regulations anyways. Colorado seems to have a little bit of a tighter regulation, especially because Denver is in out of compliance with ozone. Our state has pretty good and tight air quality restrictions.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding the EPA Ozone Advanced Program? It's nothing new that we'll be doing. Like I mentioned, it's just a report out program since we're already doing this effort. So just developing this document and working with EPA to let them know what we're doing. So I'm glad that we're a part of it. Okay. Jessica, next slide, please. All right, so this last topic to update you on in regards to air quality is Air Quality Awareness Week starting next week. Attached in your packet is a proclamation signed by our board of directors. Jill Gabler signed it recognizing Air Quality Awareness Week for the region to celebrate. It's kind of a bummer because I learned about this, I think in January, and I had some pretty big plans happening, but then life got in the way, which is okay. So plans look a little different this year, but we're excited to see our partners at the federal and state level, but also at the local level with our Air Quality Technical Committee. Our partners who are on that committee are going to virtually participate in this event as well. Air Quality Awareness Week is celebrated by EPA and CDPHE. And this year's a big one because we're going to recognize the 50th anniversary of a lot of environmental successes, which includes Earth Day and the Clean Air Act. Each day of the week recognizes different topics that may impact air quality. Monday, May 4th being wildfires. Tuesday is asthma. Wednesday is information about the Air Quality Index, which is the measurement tool used to measure air pollution in your area. Thursday is air around the world. And then Friday, we'll be sharing out educational resources regarding air quality from PPACG and our partners. This year, we'll be hosting a virtual campaign to our social media. We're developing new public materials like child's health with air pollution and similar content with aging adults. I'll also be participating in a few webinars, like for example, joining our partners at the American Lung Association to discuss our region's air quality report that I just presented to you. Thankfully, we can celebrate this every year. So next year, I hope to do a lot more. This year, I was planning on doing work with District 11, with our K through 12 students in air quality, working with our environmental interest groups, local universities like UCCS. They have an ozone air monitor at their campus, so they're really involved with air quality near their university. And any other partners, I hope to do more in-person outreach events with them next year, but working with what we got, and that's okay. My question for you is if you have any ideas on how to promote this year's Air Quality Awareness Week. Like I said, we're just doing a virtual campaign, but I'm also open to more ideas as well. So I'll mute my mic and let me know if you have any ideas. And if you don't right now, you can always contact me if you think about something later.
I would definitely send out the information to all the local chambers of commerce. There are many, many of them, not just cities, but there's a women's chamber, there's a Black chamber, there's a Hispanic chamber. Just hit them all, and they would be more than happy to share that information out.
I love that idea. Thank you. I do want to mention too that Jessica McMullen sent out a press release, I believe last Friday, notifying news agencies about Air Quality Awareness Week next week as well. So the media is aware. Are there any questions regarding Air Quality Awareness Week? I'll take ideas as well too, but if you have any questions, I'm open to those as well. Hearing none, that's okay. Jessica, could you go down to the next slide, please? So if you are out and about, taking a walk on this beautiful day, and you have some ideas or questions that you may have for me, this is my contact information. Please feel free to get a hold of me at any time. As I mentioned, you'll be seeing a lot more of me this summer to provide you air quality updates. Are there any questions overall about air quality you may have, even related to the topics that we just discussed or not?
Let's see. This is Donna Wood. I have a question as far as getting information out. Are you working in tandem with CDOT and maybe having signs up? I know you're very limited in the number of characters you would have on those signs on the freeway, but that might be a way to say it's Air Quality Week and just to let people know.
I haven't thought about that, and that's a great idea. I know CDOT, they're involved with our Air Quality Technical Committee, so they're aware of what we're doing. But I love that idea about the signs, so I'm gonna write that down and see if we can get that going. Thank you. Are there any other questions or ideas based on what we discussed or anything air quality related in general? Hearing none, thanks again for taking the time to listen to me today. I hope you all stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Samantha. So the next item is member discussion. Do members have any announcements or anything they need to share with the group?
Hey, Aubrey, I have a question for our next, oh, I'm sorry, maybe I'm skipping ahead for, I guess, part of the items for next CAC meeting. I'd like to ask we get some kind of communication from our aging agency and seeing how our aging community is doing through this whole COVID crisis. So is that something we can add to our topic next month?
I think that we can definitely look into that. I believe that the Area Agency on Aging is participating in a webinar with AARP coming up fairly soon about how COVID is impacting the aging community. So when there's details for that, we'll share that out for sure. And then I'll leave it to Jessica McMullen to talk to them about if there's more pertinent information to share with the group. She says we'll get a report from them at our next meeting. Good. And Patty, sounds like you had something to share.
Yes, thank you. Last month, I mentioned that Colorado Springs Utilities was suspending disconnections for non-payment until April 30th. That has now been extended until further notice, so we will not be disconnecting any customer accounts for non-payment until further notice. We still are asking them to call us and work out a payment plan, but I'll let you know if that changes.
Thank you, Patty. Anybody else?
Yes, this is Miley. I had a question about the nominating committee that I volunteered for. It looks like at the next meeting of the CAC, we're supposed to present who our nominee is after we reviewed the applicants. So are you going to help us, or somebody's going to help us arrange a meeting of the nominating committee within the next month, I'm assuming, so that we can review them, etc.? I just wanted to make sure I got it on my schedule.
Yes, Jessica McMullen. She says she'll set up a meeting in the next few weeks to review applicants. Expect an email within the next week. You can see that in your chat box.
Great, thank you. Okay, thanks.
Just popped up. Yep.
Hmm. Well,
And did you have something you want to share?
oh, I wanted to ask
I wanted to ask
a question.
a question.
I've done something wrong getting an echo. What did I do?
Okay. No, it sounds okay on our end.
Can you hear me okay?
We can. Yep.
What I'd like to know, I might have asked Samantha, or I can call her or email her. I'm also going to be on the Water Quality Management Committee from Green Mountain Falls. And I'm just interested in all the water stuff, and they don't meet a lot. But I thought maybe, is that okay if I just contact her directly and visit with her about it?
Absolutely. My email and phone number was listed on that presentation slide, which you have. Otherwise, contact Jessica B. and Jessica McMullen, and they can forward your information on to me. Thank you.
Okay, I see you now. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. This is wonderful. I'm not real good at Zooming yet, but I'm trying to learn. So thank you.
Thanks, Ann. Any other member comments or questions? Okay. Tamara mentioned something for the next meeting. Does anyone have anything additional they'd like to toss out there for an idea for the next meeting?
I'd like to know more about water quality, if that's possible. You know, there's a lot going on that's important. So I don't know if there's any more information through the EPA or what's going on, you know, with our water supply and so forth here in Colorado, especially, you know, some of the old towns like where Green Mountain Falls is and so forth.
So I also manage the Water Quality Management Committee that we have here. I believe when we last spoke, I think late 2019, I brought to you the final 208 Water Quality Management Plan. We're required to do that by the feds. Unfortunately, with everything going on, it hasn't been approved yet by the state. We were going to have a hearing in May to get that approved, but that got pushed to August with everything going on. So there's a lot going on, like I mentioned too, with air quality. There is a lot of federal drawbacks when it comes to like the Clean Water Act and other water policies that we have. But thankfully, Colorado has some tighter water restrictions than our federal standards. So we're okay there. But yeah, I've been meeting with our water quality committees the last few months because of the COVID response. Some committees haven't been meeting, like the Fountain Creek Watershed. They haven't been meeting virtually very much. They're just kind of holding off on this. And I know that projects that are going on throughout the region to maintain our healthy water systems, those are still continuing. So thankfully, we're not losing out on like sampling data or erosion projects. So those are still going on throughout the region. If you'd like, I can send you our 208 plan. That gives you and us, it's an over-encompassing document that talks about the water health of each watershed in our region. So we have 5 watersheds.
Yes.
So it goes in, okay, you want me to send that to you?
Well, I've seen it.
Okay.
You got a copy that's a hard copy, or can I get that? Is that not available?
I can mail you a hard copy. Would that help?
Well, that would be nice.
No,
you don't have to do that. I know you're busy. No, I've been on a few of those meetings earlier when they were redoing, you know, the documents. And then I had to be away for a while. And, but so I just was inquiring. I know that this is a real busy time for you and for everybody. So don't worry about it. But I just wanted to bring that up as one of the concerns we have up here in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So, Thank you.
Great. Any other thoughts about items for the next meeting?
What tea do you want?
Okay.
I should
You can see on,
Sorry.
Ann, did you have something else?
No, I didn't. I just took my hand.
I just took my hand. You can see on the shared screen there the meeting and event schedule for the upcoming weeks. Otherwise, without hearing anything else, I think we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Thank
Jessica, Jessica, anything else to add? Okay. Sounds like we're good. Meeting adjourned. Nice to see everybody. Everybody take care, and we'll see you next month.
Great. Thank you.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now do I just shut up?